Mantra, which allows us to feel that vibration. I also explain how to increase that feeling and vibration and the power of Maha Mantra through your chanting, so that you kind of connect with that supreme potency and experience the highest spiritual power of Maha Mantra, chanting it together at the Sangha, which is called again Circle of Influence. And after that one round of Maha Mantra, we're going to read Bhagavad Gita together, where each of you will have a chance to read a little bit, ask questions, get clarification, and find out how you can apply the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita in your daily life. So this is the most important thing, because we may have the knowledge, but we may not know how to apply the knowledge. So the knowledge becomes effective when we actually use it in our life. And since Bhagavad Gita is the supreme knowledge, that knowledge allows us the happiness which doesn't belong to the material world. Why? Because material happiness is very limited. It starts and it ends, right? But the spiritual happiness, it is eternal, because it comes from the spiritual world. And Bhagavad Gita is Krishna himself. By reading Bhagavad Gita, you reconnect with Krishna, who is in your heart. You get in touch with him. You talk to him in the way that he talks to Arjuna. We follow that conversation, and that's how Krishna becomes present in our life. So, by the raise of your hand, please show me who haven't heard of Maha Mantra before. Who doesn't know about the meaning of Maha Mantra? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, perfect. 4, excellent. So, first of all, the words of Maha Mantra are shown here. It consists of 16 words. These 16 words are the holy names of the Lord. And in scriptures, it is said that Maha Mantra is non different from the Lord himself, and it is his sound incarnation. So by chanting, meaning that by repeating Maha Mantra in the way that you hear it, you start feeling that vibration in your body, you start feeling that vibration in your mind, and you become spiritualized. And what does it give to us, that spiritualization, I would say? Who can tell me, from those who know? Peace, wonderful. What else? And we're going to experience it in a few minutes. What else does it give to us? Happiness, yes. What else? Ability to transcend. So before, you can even, split the time at before and after. So now just you can feel your state of mind and your state of, I would say, consciousness, how you're feeling at the moment, what kind of thoughts are coming to your mind. And after the Maha Mantra, you will do this revision again, and you will see how it changes like that in 10, 15 minutes. It doesn't require any money. All it needs is your intention, your desire, which allows you to reconnect within yourself with that supreme energy of the Lord. Are you ready? Wonderful. Okay, and the meaning of Maha Mantra is, dear Lord, please engage me in your service. So why would we ask for it? Why would we want to be engaged into the service of the Lord? Who can tell me? Exactly. And how are we Krishna's servants? Because we are who? Who are we actually? Exactly. We are spiritual souls, and we're parts and parcels of the Lord. So we belong to him, and our constitutional position is to be a servant of the Lord, is the spirit soul, is to be in constant service to the Lord. And what does it mean, being in service? What does it mean for us? So can you imagine any loving relationship without service, when you only think about yourself and don't think about the other person? So service means love. Basically, all scriptures and Bhagavad Gita teaches you love, but how can you feel that love? Through chanting of Maha Mantra. And how you can understand Krishna? By reading Bhagavad Gita. So these two are connected always, chanting and reading. Reading allows us understanding, and chanting allows us the feeling. Okay? All right. So the way we chant is on Japamala beats, which you can get from the temple on Sunday feast. Sunday feast, every Sunday we have a Sunday feast. Who have been at the Sunday feast? Please raise your hand. Okay, one person, 2, 3, wonderful. Okay, perfect. So every Sunday we have a Sunday feast, which starts at 6 o'clock. And during the Sunday feast, you will enjoy the arati. You will enjoy wonderful kirtan. What is kirtan? Who can tell? It's a singing of Maha Mantra. It's a wonderful performance which involves instruments and the singers, and this is a very, very spiritual practice which is called devotional service. We will be reading about it in Bhagavad Gita. So, and then afterwards, it is followed by the lecture given by one of the teachers, spiritual teachers. And after that, you're going to have prasadam. Prasadam is food which was offered to the Lord. And actually, our body consists of food, right? If we eat food offered to the Lord, our body becomes spiritualized. Spiritualized body is full of bliss and happiness. So here what we're doing everything to experience that spiritual vibration that brings happiness, knowledge, and bliss in our life. And this is all about the spiritual practice. So back to Japamala and Mahamantra chanting. This is how Japamala beats look like. It has 108 beats, and each beat will basically we will be repeating the mantra by following each beat like that. Today I will be showing it to you, but normally how would you do that? You will do it like this, okay? In the back, because it's a sacred process. It's between you and the Lord, okay? And before we begin the chanting, let's give our obeisances to the Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who actually brought Mahamantra to us, and he gave us that key actually to the heart of spiritual love and happiness. So you can repeat this mantra after me. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Wonderful. Now let's begin the chanting. So in order to make the chanting effective and powerful, sit straight. This is the way how we control actually our attention and keep our body in the body, which allows us to fix ourselves in the moment. And chant as loud as you can so that you can hear each other. All right? So this is for the benefit of yourself and all living entities around us. Let's begin. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mahamantra ki jai. Thank you so much for wonderful chanting. How are you feeling now? Yes. Calm. Okay, wonderful. No one else? Yes. Peaceful. Anyone else would like to share? Happy, happy. Yes. Good. Wonderful. What is this? Relieved from your stress. Wonderful. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. So this is how it works. Once we reconnect with the Lord, with His spiritual energy, we, with our mind and body and consciousness, actually dive into that ocean of love, happiness, and bliss. Because this is our natural, again, constitutional position. This is what we are. The same good, calm, peaceful, relieved. This is our nature. And by chanting the Maha Mantra is recommended by Srila Prabhupada 16 rounds a day, that happiness increases. The relief becomes stronger. The goodness, calmness, all of that gets multiplied. All right. I wish I could do it with you every day. It was so wonderful. All right. Do you have Bhagavad Gita? Okay. Veronica, can you give? So we continue reading Bhagavad Gita as it is. Before we begin, let's give our obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. By his grace, we're sitting in ISKCON, Toronto, and reading Bhagavad Gita in English. Namom Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Guravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Before we read any scripture, we give obeisances to the absolute truth by repeating this mantra 3 times, and you can also repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Thank you so much. Yes? Yes, I'm giving obeisances to the absolute truth. So the Lord himself, he represents absolute truth, and Bhagavad Gita is the absolute knowledge. So, and because it's again by the mercy of the Lord and the devotees, we have the knowledge in our hands, and we have the opportunity to learn from it and to go back to Godhead. So we give obeisances to the absolute truth. Thank you so much. Is there anyone here who haven't heard of Bhagavad Gita before? Oh, wow. Okay. Anyone else? So everybody else knows, right? Wonderful. So who can say in a few words what it is about, like from the audience? So we are reading Bhagavad Gita. It's now chapter 5. And who would like to share maybe just say a few words to glorify Bhagavad Gita, to give just a quick summary on what it is about? Yes? You want to use the mic?
It's a discussion between Krishna and Arjuna, where they're on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and Arjuna's confused about what to do and piety and impiety. And so Krishna speaks this song of God, and it's basically a manual for us living entities.
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. So, yeah. So Bhagavad Gita, it's the knowledge given to us by the Lord himself, and it's a song of God, and it was spoken at the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And Arjuna is a pure devotee of the Lord, and again, by the mercy of the devotee, we learn Bhagavad Gita all together, and by the grace of the Lord as well. And as it was said, Arjuna is in a very traumatic emotions. He's in a critical condition because he has to fight with his relatives. He has to follow his responsibility as a warrior and protect Dharma. But his situation is very difficult because the opposite party are his relatives, his friends, his family members. And imagine he has to kill them all. This is very, very difficult. Therefore, he is in that dilemma, fight or not to fight. As we say, be or not to be, right? So fight or not to fight. And Krishna, seeing his difficulty and his basically powerlessness and his fear and frustration and actually trauma, I would say, starts speaking in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, and he shares this. He starts with the knowledge of, with the spiritual knowledge that we are not this body. We are first of all spiritual souls, and the spiritual nature is the one actually which is our identity, and we use this material energy in order to perform our duty and in order to serve the Lord to the best of our ability. And Krishna further will be speaking that he's a talent in a person, he's the beauty of the world, he's the strength of all, the strongest, and etc. So he represents everything beautiful, everything which is strong, everything which actually exists. And by saying this, whatever knowledge and power that we have following the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, it's all given to us by the Lord. And this is our instrument that we can use in his service. So by following the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we understand. So first of all, that we are spirit soul, and secondly, everything that we have is given to us by the Lord so that we can use it in the service. And by doing so, in chapter 3, Krishna says we stop accumulating any karma. So what is karma? It's a consequence. And that consequence actually keeps us in the material world. And the material world is designed in a way that we have to get born, then grow old, then get sick, then die, and go through multiple sufferings. So therefore, in order to stop that cycle of sufferings called karma, Krishna gives us the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. That culminates in chapter 18, where he actually gives not the advice, but the not recommended, the guidance. I need to choose the proper words, right? The guidance, so that we understand the whole point of Bhagavad Gita. But without going through the whole Bhagavad Gita, we cannot gain that understanding, because it's a gradual process of development of Krishna consciousness. So therefore, by reading Bhagavad Gita, by understanding it, and by applying it in our life, one thing, we become knowledgeable. Second thing, we become blissful. Third thing, we become karma-free if we apply it. And we go back to Godhead. So this is one of the most powerful services that a spirit soul can do through the body, through the senses, and we will be reading more about it in chapter 5 now. All right, so last time we stopped on text number, let me see, just a sec, 15, I believe. Yes. Yeah, chapter 5, text 15. So the hard copy, it's page number 242, and the soft copy, maybe somebody can tell, 229? Yeah, 229. Okay, so the way we will be reading, I will start, and we will read Sanskrit translation, and then we will be discussing every important point, and all points are actually important. We'll be summarizing. You will have the opportunity to ask questions or share your realizations, and then each of you will have a chance to read in the same way. If it's a big paragraph, we will be splitting it so that all of us can read. So text, chapter 5, text 15. Nadate kasyachit papam nachaiva sukritam vibhu agyane navritam gyanam tenamo hyanti jantavaham. Translation: nor does the Supreme Lord assume everyone's sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge. So here, the Lord Krishna says that he is not involved in identifying who is sinful or who is pious. He's not assuming that. But living entities, out of ignorance, they are coming to that conclusion. Thank you so much. Oh, Mataji, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, thank you. Okay, purport. The Sanskrit word Vibhu means the Supreme Lord, who is full of unlimited knowledge. So, first of all, the Lord is full of unlimited knowledge, riches, strength, fame, beauty, and renunciation. So all of this is coming to us from the Lord. He is always satisfied in himself, undisturbed by sinful or pious activities. He does not create a particular situation for any living entity, but the living entity, bewildered by ignorance, desires to be put into certain conditions of life. So this is a very important point. The Lord does not create for us any situation to put us into it. It's not done by the Lord. So when we say, oh, probably the Lord wants us to suffer or the Lord wants us to do something, no. It's not the Lord who creates any particular situations. But it says the living entity bewildered by ignorance. So out of lack of knowledge, the living entities may desire to be put into certain conditions of life. So sometimes it happens, right? We may desire things which are not good for us. We want to go somewhere which are not good for us. We want to do things which are not good for us. We may hear advice from parents. We may hear advice from others, but we may neglect. All of us have been in that situation, right? Where we would neglect that. And again, it happens out of lack of knowledge. Therefore, thereby, this chain of action and reaction begins. And chain of action and reaction is karma. A living entity is, by superior nature, full of knowledge. So in other words, our superior nature, which is spiritual, is full of knowledge. Nonetheless, he is prone to be influenced by ignorance due to his limited power. And why do you think we have limited power? So if we are full of knowledge, why don't we show that knowledge? What happens to us? Why can't we shine with knowledge? So rise and shine. Yes, and egoistic is also ignorance, right? Yeah, so this is one of the levels, which is, can we be egoistic if we are full of knowledge? No. So it's again, it's a lack of knowledge. But what happens to us that we experience that lack of knowledge? If we are by nature full of knowledge, why is it happening to us that we appear lacking that knowledge? Yes, and why do we ignore the knowledge? So what is the influence of that? Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I will give you a hint here. So imagine you a drop of from the spiritual ocean, and you are coming to the big pile of sand. What's going to happen? We lose ourselves. We disappear, right? We lose ourselves. Because once we disconnected from Krishna, the material energy is huge. We're small. We're full of knowledge, but we are small parts and parcels of the Lord. Both spiritual energy and material energy belong to the Lord. So we just lose ourselves. Therefore, we need to stay always connected. Always read Bhagavad Gita. Never stop reading, as Srila Prabhupada said. And keep chanting Maha Mantra so you never lose that connection. And then ignorance stop influencing, right? It's also said in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 that we are forgetful. Spiritual soul, individual souls, they are forgetful. And Paramatma, which is super soul, remembers everything. So we need to remember that we are forgetful. We don't remember what happened to us the same day 20 years ago. No one remembers. I hardly remember what I did yesterday at 5 o'clock. I have to remember that. Okay, so that's why we need to remind ourselves through this practice, spiritual practice. Okay, the Lord is omnipotent, but the living entity is not. So this is another reason. The Lord is Vibhu or omniscient, but the living entity is Anu or atomic. So atomic means small. Because he is a living soul, he has the capacity to desire by his free will. So in other words, we have our free will. Such desire is fulfilled only by the omnipotent Lord. So we have desires, and the Lord fulfills our desires. And so when the living entity is bewildered in his desire, in other words, if we want something which is not good for us, the Lord allows him to fulfill those desires. But the Lord is never responsible for the actions and reactions of the particular situation which may be desired. So in other words, we may desire, the Lord fulfills, we get into the situation that we desire, we take responsibility for that, it becomes our karma. So the Lord does not create that karma for us. The law exists, the law does its job on its own. Being in a bewildered condition, therefore, the embodied soul identifies himself with the circumstantial material body. So why is it called circumstantial? How do you understand that? So our body is called circumstantial. How do you understand the word circumstantial? What comes to your mind? That's right. So the circumstance, right? So first of all, we desire something. Secondly, by the will of the Lord, he fulfills our desire. We get into the situation. This is a circumstance, right? If we continue doing the same thing, repeating the same situation, keep desiring something, what do we? We actually create our new body. By our actions, we create our future body. So our current body is circumstantial. It means that we have already been engaged as human beings in some spiritual development, because this is the nature, actually, this is the goal of human life, to develop spiritually, to grow spiritually. All right, and become subjected to the temporary misery and happiness of life. So the misery of this circumstantial body is temporary. So some bodies, they may not feel cold in the winter, but we do feel cold, right? So this is our temporary misery because we have human body. Some bodies, they experience some other miseries which we don't experience. Some bodies may experience higher taste of food where we may become feel neutral, right? So this is all the circumstances that are temporary. The Lord is the constant companion of the living entity, is Paramatma, or the super soul, and therefore he can understand the desires of the individual soul. In other words, we are never alone. The Lord is witnessing us, the Lord knows us, and he knows all of our desires. As one can smell the fragrance of a flower by being near to it. So this is a analogy, right? As the one who smells the fragrance of the flower. So as if we are the flower and the Lord is smelling our fragrance. Desire is a subtle form of conditioning for the living entity. So desire, why is it subtle? Because we cannot touch the desire. So it's something very subtle, like a thought or like a feeling. It's hard to see, but it exists. The Lord fulfills his desire as he deserves. So we may have multiple desires. Some people would like to be millionaires, right? Have a lot of money, but those desires are not fulfilled. Why? Because the person might not deserve it. So we get the fulfillment of our desires according to what we deserve and what we do not deserve. Man proposes and God disposes. The individual is not therefore omnipotent in fulfilling his desires. The Lord, however, can fulfill all desires, and the Lord, being neutral to everyone, does not interfere with the desire of the minute, independent living entities. So in other words, if someone desires something, the Lord will not stop him from desiring or will not make that desire stronger. The Lord does not interfere with our desires. However, when one desires Krishna, the Lord takes special care and encourages one to desire in such a way that one can attain to him and be eternally happy. So this is a special care of the Lord for those who is desiring Krishna. He takes special care of such a soul. Okay, who would like, can we start from you, Mataji? Yes, the Vedic hymns.
The Vedic hymns therefore declare, Esa uhi eva sadhu karma karayati tam yam ebhyo lokebhya uninishate. Esha u eva sadhu karma karayati yam adho ninishate. The Lord engages the living entity in pious activities so that he may be elevated. The Lord engages him in impious activities so that he may go to hell. Koshita Ki Upanishad 3.8. Similarly, the Mahabharata states, Agno jantur anishoyam atmanaha sukha dukha yo ishvara prerito gachet svargam vas avram evacha. The living entity is completely dependent in his distress and happiness. By the will of the Supreme, he can go to heaven or hell, as a cloud is driven by the air.
Okay, thank you so much. You can pass the mic, so we're going to read paragraph by paragraph. So this is a very important, there is a very important point here that the Lord engages the living entity in pious activities so that he may be elevated. So the Lord does not create any situations for us, but he may engage us in activities. Different activities. So pious activities lead to elevation. Impious activities lead the living entity to hell. And following this statement, right, the living entity is completely dependent in his distress and happiness. In other words, so that the distress and happiness happen to us, it depends again on the will of the Lord. We get the mercy of the Lord. We may not go through that cycle of happiness and distress. Yeah. Yep.
I know the words are different, but on a high level, to me, it's really contradictory.
Okay, yeah.
To what we read, where it says that he does not create a particular situation.
That's right.
Yet he engages
According to our?
Choices of acts.
No, according to our desires. So the living entity would like to be put into a particular situation according to the desire, and the Lord fulfills that. Therefore, he may engage the living entity in the activities that may elevate, or he may engage in the activities that will engage. The Lord engages. He may engage means like, for example, a person would like to drink alcohol. Okay, so the Lord will allow that. So he may engage the person into the situation where the person would like to be so that he will continue his path to hell. Or the person would like to be elevated. He would like to grow. He would like to get out, for example, right? Then the Lord will show the path. He will give the teacher. He will send someone. Something will happen. So the Lord will help. Yeah. Everything happens because of our desire. The Lord is not engaged in creating those desires. He doesn't create the situation, but he puts the living entity in a situation that he desires to be, even though we may not understand that it's good, not good for us. Yeah. Because those who would like to be engaged in impious activities, their motivation is actually positive because they're believing that will relieve me, that will make me happy, that will make me richer, for example, if they're stealing money, right? Or if I drink alcohol, I will be happier, something like this. So the motivation is always good, but it's again, and that's why it is said here, it's a lack of knowledge out of ignorance. Yeah. So they need to experience the results of their desires. Yeah. And that's how the body becomes actually circumstantial. Because if they continue in the same way in the next life, it's going to be even a different body. Not only the situation that they created. It's going to be absolutely different lifestyle. Yes. Mm-hmm. So it is said he's undisturbed and neutral, right? But yes, that's right. It's actually, yeah. Exactly, yes. And also dharma protects the person. So for example, the person would like to drink, but the person is trying to be responsible in fulfilling his duties as a parent. So in that way, the Lord will also be considering that. So what kind of, like it is said that dharma protects the person, because dharma is also given by the Lord and it's service already. So by the service, the person can be protected. Sometimes, people become unhappy. Oh, I'm not getting what I want. They don't understand that it is actually a protection. I'm not getting that phone call from the person. I'm not getting married to that person. They do not understand that it's actually a protection. And if they insist, then, and if it happens, then later on they may understand, oh my God, that was a protection and I insisted, I got into the situation where I shouldn't be, and etc. So we need to be very clear about our desires and about the consequences where it can take us. Yeah.
Our life is actually an Excel sheet. Absolutely. I believe a lot on karma, but now I understand karma is way more than what we
Actually, karma starts from desire. Yeah.
feel like what we do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a black and white Excel sheet.
That's right.
Many times we feel that,
Mm-hmm.
that so and so is not doing the right things, yet they're enjoying the life so much.
Mm.
But definitely, they are also doing something which is kind of balancing the two.
Yes, we cannot see the whole process. Yeah,
Our earbuds and we should have the best of life, right?
of course.
Whatever, right?
Yes,
We find these relations so much around us.
yes.
But this is true that she must be doing something
Yeah,
which is countering that.
everything is taken into account. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we need to remember that our karma starts with our desires, our consciousness, and our desires actually come from the purity or impurity of our consciousness. So you can even test yourself. What will be your desire before you chant Maha Mantra, and what are your desires after chanting the Maha Mantra? What is your desire before reading Bhagavad Gita, and how it changes after reading Bhagavad Gita? For example, some people cannot wake up early in the morning because they go to bed late. Why do they go to bed late? Because they're trying to catch up on the satisfaction from life, right? They were tired, they're trying to watch a movie or eat something, etc. Instead, if they try reading Bhagavad Gita, they will see how the majority of their desires will be satisfied right away, and they don't need to sit in front of TV and trying to catch up with that satisfaction. They're gonna go to bed early. Like if you know people who wanna try that, do your statistics, and you can bring it as an example, because it's a proof, that's a fact, and a lot of people actually progressed in spiritual life. They became more disciplined, they become more determined, and more, I would say, the healthier, right? By just simply reading and chanting Maha Mantra in the morning and in the evening. It's very easy, but it's so powerful. And about the choices, the material energy is like a lot of full of choices. But because material energy is, how to say, it's changed by the spiritual energy. If you take the soul from the body, what? Will decay. So the changes will not, it won't be the changes that growing or developing, so the body will decay. So there is no choice, right? So the choices exist until the soul is there. And the soul actually is the one that wills, right? So the willing relates to the soul. And that's why it is said here, out of ignorance, we will the things which are against our, identity. Because our constitutional position is spiritual. It's first of all, we need to remember. Is it good for my spiritual life? Am I doing it against myself? Or it will help me to progress, it will make me happier. And then in that case, within the multiple choices, you may make a choice which is good for you. Yeah. Moreover, in Srimad Bhagavatam it is said that actually all of the choices exist in the spiritual world, and that's why it's constantly growing and it's constantly extending by the service of living entities. Here, if we have winter, it is winter. That's it, no choice, right? Over there, it may change. Like every step is a dance, every move is a song, and etc. So our choices are limited here, but for us, we think we have a lot of choices, but actually we don't. so many choices. We don't have them, right? The only choice that we have is to choose between our desires that will result actually in the way we feel and the way we perceive and how we exist and how we act. Yeah. So it's a very deep topic. We can have another, maybe class on it, right? Okay, let's continue.
Therefore, the embodied soul, by his immemorial desire to avoid Krishna consciousness, causes his own bewilderment.
So this is also very important. Immemorial desire to avoid Krishna consciousness. So how we become bewildered? Because once upon a time, as I would say, right, which we don't remember, we desire to avoid Krishna consciousness, and that's how we become embodied. Okay, now we don't remember, and this is the cause of our bewilderment. Okay?
Consequently, although he is constitutionally eternal, blissful, and cognizant, due to the littleness of his existence, he forgets his constitutional position of service to the Lord and is thus entrapped by nescience.
So forgetfulness of our constitutional position and forgetfulness of our service to the Lord leads to that being entrapped in karma. So now if we remember, right, what it does to us, it actually liberates us. Okay? Mm-hmm.
And under the spell of ignorance, the living entity claims that the Lord is responsible for his conditional existence.
Mm-hmm.
The Vedanta Sutras also confirm this. Vesima nirgrane na sape satvat tatha hi darshati. The Lord neither hates nor likes anyone, though he appears to.
Yes, that's right. And it's also because of our lack of knowledge. Okay, thank you. Let's pass the mic. You don't want to read? You want to try?
Actually, she's saying she don't want to misspell
W-
That's fine. That's okay.
Okay, so you will read the Sanskrit and translation, then you will read paragraphs so that you have the opportunity to read as well, okay? Mhm.
So, this does not have the English number.
16, text 16.
Naname tu tat ajanan yesam nasitam atimana tesam aditya vaj jananam prakasayati tat param.
Okay, translation.
When, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which nascence is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals everything, as the sun lights up everything in the daytime.
So this verse speaks about the power of the knowledge. Once we're enlightened by the knowledge, that knowledge reveals everything. If in previous verse we were speaking about the ignorance, when it covers, we forget, right, and we get entrapped. So here it's the opposite process. We get enlightened, and that knowledge actually reveals everything and destroys all of the nisigns. Okay.
Those who have forgotten Krishna must certainly be bewildered, but those who are in Krishna consciousness are not bewildered at all. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvam Janana Palivana Janagina Sarva Karmani and Nahi Janena Sadrasam. Knowledge is always highly esteemed. And what is that knowledge? Perfect knowledge is achieved when one surrenders unto Krishna, and is said in the 17th chapter, 19th verse, Bahunam Janamanam Ante Janavanam Mam Pradhyatati. After passing through
So
many...
comment on this, right? So perfect knowledge is achieved when one surrenders unto Krishna. So our surrendering is our ultimate goal, because by surrendering again, what happens to us? We are allowed into the spiritual world. Why are we still not there? Because the surrendering didn't happen. We're developing that, and the surrendering is a result of a perfect knowledge. So once we are full of that knowledge, fully enlightened, and ignorance or material energy has no effect on our mind and consciousness, that will result in ultimate surrender, which will actually open the gates for us to the spiritual world.
After passing through many, many births, when one perfect in knowledge surrenders onto Krishna, or when one attains Krishna consciousness, then everything is revealed to him, as everything is revealed by the sun in the daytime.
So Krishna consciousness is compared to the sun in the daytime, and once we're Krishna consciousness, again, the symptom of Krishna consciousness is the full surrender.
The living entity is bewildered in so many ways. For instance, when he is unceremoniously thinks himself God.
And this is a very subtle thinking, because if you ask a person, do you feel yourself God? He'll say no. But how is it shown is by the desire to control and create things according to his will, not understanding that everything exists by the will of the Lord, that everything belongs to the Lord. So it can be that, very subtle controlling when, for example, we may say, oh, it happened because of me. Is it truly because just us, or there is something else that takes, place in the process, right? Or something did not happen because of me. Basically, it's who is in the center, me or the Lord, my power or the Lord's power. So it's very, very subtle point when that thinking is happening. It's not a direct thinking, it's kind of hidden. But we need to track it in ourselves and understand that everything belongs to the Lord, and whatever is happening to us is a result of our desires. So what we can do is change our consciousness, purify our senses, and change our desires. That will create a different situation for us.
He actually falls into the last snare of nescience. If a living entity were God, then how could he become bewildered by nescience? Does God become bewildered by nescience? If so, then nescience or Saturn would be greater than God. Real knowledge can be obtained from a person who is in perfect Krishna consciousness. Therefore, one has to seek out such a bona fide spiritual master, and under him learn what Krishna consciousness is. For Krishna consciousness will certainly drive away all nescience as the sun drives away darkness.
So how do you explain Krishna consciousness? What is Krishna consciousness? So the Krishna consciousness is so powerful, right? And by Krishna consciousness, all nescience disappears. So what is Krishna consciousness? Yes, how do we do that? That's right. So being Krishna conscious means that we are in a service position. We are constitutionally the servants of the Lord. And being the servants, all actions that we perform should be offered to the Lord. Whatever we eat, whatever we do, whatever we offer, give away, do it as an offering to me, the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 9. Therefore, that's Krishna consciousness. If I am raising the child, I'm doing it for Krishna. how can I offer that to the Lord? I follow, for example, Bhagavad Gita. I feed the child with prasadam. I bring the child to the temple. I engage the child in the services both at home and in the temple. I read Bhagavad Gita and etc. In every action, we can do service if we remember that everything belongs to the Lord, and I am given that opportunity to serve Him through job, position, anything that we have. Yeah, this is Krishna consciousness. Okay.
Even though a person may be in full knowledge that he is not this body but in transcendental to the body, he still may not be able to discriminate between the soul and the supersoul. However, he can know everything well if he cares to take shelter of the perfect, bona fide Krishna conscious spiritual master. One can know God and one's relationship with God only when one actually meets a representative of God.
And who is that representative of God? Spiritual master. So the master actually speaks for itself, right? If you need to learn anything, you need to learn it from the master, whether it's cooking, whether it's cleaning, whether it's anything. If you want to understand God and become, actually awaken that Krishna consciousness within yourself, you need to engage into the service of the spiritual master. It's chapter number 4. Inquire from him submissively. Learn the truth from him. Therefore, you will understand how to serve the Lord and become Krishna conscious.
A representative of God never claims that he is God, although he is paid all the respect ordinarily paid to God because he has knowledge of God. One has to learn the distinction between God and the living entity. Lord Sri Krishna therefore stated in 2nd chapter 2.12 that everything being is individual and that the Lord also is individual. They were all individuals in the past, they are all individuals at present. And they will continue to be individuals in the future, even after liberation.
In other words, each of us, we are spirit soul, and all of us very individual, eternally individual, never change. Yeah.
At night, we see everything as one in the darkness. But in the daytime, when the sun is up, we see everything in its real identity. Identity with individuality in spiritual life is real knowledge. That's a very
Wonderful.
beautiful comparison.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so, let's pass the mic next to the next person, and we read the whole text, and we will split so you can read the paragraphs. If you're okay. Oh, you want to pass today? You just want to enjoy? Okay, that's fine. It's okay, it's okay. At the end of the book, if any of you desire, you can see how to read Sanskrit. And there is also chanting Bhagavad Gita verses on YouTube, where you can also listen to it and, try to repeat it. Yeah.
Tad buddhyas tad atmanas tad nisthas tad paryana gachanti apurnar avritim janana nirdhuta kalmasa.
I will give you one actually exercise that is recommended by Vashika Das, who is my spiritual teacher. Read Bhagavad Gita, just the Sanskrit, so you sing it, because it's a song of God, right? You can listen to it on YouTube, for example, the chanting of Bhagavad Gita, like verses, and then you can sing only Sanskrit, and that will be task number 1. Then you can read translation in English, that's task number 2. So each process may take you 3 hours, so you may split it. Just for example, today you may decide to sing Sanskrit of chapter number 1, each verse in Sanskrit, and will take you maybe 10 minutes or so. And if you have time after that, you can read the translation of each verse. Or you can split that process from like morning and evening. And that will give you a deeper sense actually of Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, that connection. Okay.
When one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation.
Yeah, so Krishna says what we need to actually dedicate to him: intelligence, mind, faith, refuge, all need to be fixed on the Lord. Okay? And these things are very subtle. Again, you may not see that the person is doing it, but he's doing it internally. So all of us, the Paramatma is observing it. And we can also feel how it's happening when we fix all those subtle things on the service to the Lord. Okay.
The supreme transcendental truth is Lord Krishna. The whole Bhagavad Gita centers around the declaration that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the version of all Vedic literature. Paratattva means the supreme reality, which is understood by the knowers of Supreme as Brahma, Paramatma, and
Bhagavan.
Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the last word in the Absolute. There is nothing more than that. The Lord says, Mata Parataram Nanyat Kinchit Asti Dhananjaya. Impersonal Brahman is also supported by Krishna. Brahmano hi pratishtaham. Therefore, in all ways, Krishna is the supreme reality, one whose mind, intelligence, faith, and refuge are always in Krishna, or in other words, one who is fully in Krishna consciousness is undoubtedly washed clean of all misgivings and is in perfect knowledge of everything concerning transcendence. A Krishna conscious person can think concerning transcendence, can thoroughly understand that there is duality, simultaneous identity, and individuality in Krishna. And equipped with such transcendental knowledge, one can make steady progress on the path of liberation.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Would you like to read? Would you like to get? Yeah.
It's 18.
Chapter 8, text 18.
Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahmane Gavi Hastini Suni Kaiva Sapakeva Pandita Sama Darshana.
Translation.
Translation. The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and a gentle Brahman, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater.
This is a very, very important verse. So first of all, the humble sage, by the virtue of true knowledge, can see with equal vision the learned and gentle Brahman, a cow, an elephant. So humbleness allows us to see the spiritual identity of any living entity regardless of its material circumstance. As we know that material body is circumstantial, but the living entity is eternal. It's eternal spiritual soul. So being humble and being in knowledge, this is a very important combination that allows us to see that spiritual identity. If there is no humbleness, how do you think it can be seen? If we are not humble, how can we see? What happens then? Why do we need to be humble? Why is it an important, condition to see everyone equally? So the opposite to being humble is what? Ego, right? Being proud, thinking I'm high, I'm better, and etc.
Arrogance.
Hmm?
Arrogance.
What is it?
Arrogance.
Arrogance. That's right, arrogance. So when there is no humbleness, we stop seeing that spiritual identity of another living entity. And we may become arrogant or even rude, right? So being humble is a very important. And the second condition is true knowledge. Okay?
A
Purple.
Krishna conscious person does not make any distinction between species or castes. The Brahman and the outcast may be different from social point of view, or a dog, a cow, and an elephant may be different from the point of view of species. But these differences of body are meaningless from viewpoint of learned transcendentalist.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. This is due to their relationship to the Supreme, for the Supreme Lord by his plenary portion of Pramatman, Pramatma is present in everyone's heart. Such an understanding of Supreme is Supreme is real knowledge.
So the understanding of the Supreme is that all of us are parts and parcels of the Lord. Dog, elephant, tree, flowers, everyone is a part and parcel of the Lord. So that is the real knowledge. And being again humble and being in Krishna consciousness, meaning that we engage into the service, all of our body, senses, faith, mind, refuge, everything is fixed on the Lord, allows us to see that everything is the same important as ourselves, because all of them are parts and parcels of the Lord.
As far as bodies are connected in different castes or different species of life, the Lord is equally kind to everyone, because he treats every living being as a friend, yet maintains himself as a Paramatma regardless of circumstances of the living entities. The Lord as Paramatma is present both in outcast and the Brahman. Although the body of Brahman and that of an outcast are not the same.
Yes, so by understanding the spiritual identity in every living soul, we actually respect the Lord within their body, because the Lord is present as Paramatma in each body which exists.
Not the same. The bodies are material productions of different modes of material nature, but the soul and the super soul within the body are of the same spiritual quality. The similarity in the quality of soul and the super soul, however, does not make them equal in quantity. For individual soul is present only in their particular body, whereas the Paramatma is present in each and every body.
Perfect. Would your friend like to read as well, to finish the verse? Okay, thank you.
A Krishna conscious person has a full knowledge of this, and therefore he is truly learned and has equal vision.
So another symptom of a Krishna conscious person, that he has an equal vision.
The similar characteristics of the soul and super soul are that they are both conscious, eternal, and blissful, but the difference is that the individual soul is conscious within the limited jurisdictions of the body, whereas the super soul is conscious of all bodies.
Yes, so we need to remember that our consciousness is limited because we have different bodies. Even within the bodies, our consciousness can be limited to the capacity of our body. But when we become Krishna conscious, that's the absolute real knowledge which enlightens actually us. Yeah.
The super soul is present in all bodies without distinctions.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So I believe we will have already in 2 minutes. Let's share our realizations from today's class. What are you taking with you from today's Sangha? What would you like to practice, or maybe what enlightened you, what opened up to you today? What is it that you may share? Yes. Vipul, okay. And can you repeat again, just to reflect on it? Oh, it's your husband's name. Wonderful. That's a powerful name. Okay. 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 And just to remind everyone, like, how would you reflect on that? Like, what are you taking? What is the main thing about it? Mhm. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, I guess we don't have much time. Yeah. So you connect now the name with. Okay, wonderful. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to see all of you. Please reflect on this, on the verses that we read today at your home time. Okay? Meditate on them, read again, and come to get some prashadam. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.